Gather round on a Thursday night in the Metaverse, feeling hype. Matthew and Rizzle, they're on the mic. Welcome to the WIP, hold on tight. Lightning strikes, the energy's high. With fam in the virtual sky. New speakers, new stories, don't be shy. Crypto knowledge, we're in the know. Oh my! With fam, we break virtual worlds. Little thunder as the lightning twirls. Paradoxx behind the lens, making moves. Renegade on the audio, no time to lose. Show's got the afties, let the good times cruise. Show's got the afties, let the good times cruise.
Matt?
There you go. Can you?
I heard you for a sec.
What? I don't even know what to do. Can y'all hear me? Are we both
Yeah.
dead?
I hear you,
Okay, good.
but no Matt.
Yeah, I don't know. Matt's supposed to start this thing. I'm hearing some reverb and yeah, we got a Rizzle. I can do this. We don't really need Matt. We'll just do it, right? What does Matt normally say? He's like, boom, something, we're ready to go. And then he just passes me the mic basically anyway. So anyway, yo, welcome to WIP. Shout out Foxy Yoga for DJing the pre-WIP set. And y'all want to get in world, for real. We've got Paradoxx like really went all out and did an incredible revamp of the parcel. We've got like an unveil coming in. I'm trying to copy paste the link, but I'm like clicking on it too many times. Hang on, here we go.
Wait, Rizzle.
Yeah, yo.
It's really hard to hear you, and all I hear is myself and Laurie Bolden in the background shouting about $200,000.
Hold up. Can y'all hear me? Who can hear me? Sounds good to me. All right.
That sounds good to me.
Okay. All right. Colborn chimes in. Una, you're on the periphery here. But that's all right. We only need to hear you. What I'm saying doesn't even matter. I'm about to pass the mic anyway, and we'll get off this shit. Let's see. Some housekeeping stuff though. We are in the general channel of the Discord channel. So if you can't hear me, or you can barely hear me, and you want to see where the links are being dropped, and all that shit, that's in the general channel here. Oh yeah, Una, mute your hyperfy browser. It's possible you're getting some kickback on that as well. Yeah, and anyone who hasn't been in hyperfy in a while, you probably got some music going on in world. So mute your hyperfy. Like I said, you should be in hyperfy. We got a big reveal coming on. If you haven't been in there in a while and you would like to dance with us, you can type /dance in the chat box. You can double tap spacebar to fly. Shift will make you run, but that'll get you in hyperfy. And like I said, we got a big reveal and a gallery to go to. If you try and escape now, you're gonna end up in egg jail and you're gonna have to refresh. It sucks. Paradoxx has been like fucking with me all week. It's a thing. So let's see. We're going to do a tour with Paradoxx, the new spot, and then we're going to pass the mic to Una, who, big shout out to Una. I really didn't anticipate how much someone's artistic style could complement the WIP style. And we're going to pass the mic to Una so she can tell y'all about what she's been doing. And then she gave me permission to make a really ridiculous game out of her art. And so, you know, by the end, we're going to be driving cars of eggs through Una's vagina. So stick around for that because it's going to make for some like really good photo op shit. Let's see, what else we got? Click on our shit. We got a Warpcast channel. You should be posting there. I actually have a DGen tip allowance now, so I can send you some DGen. So I'll even bribe you to post shit in our Warpcast channel. I posted Paradoxx's latest mashup from last week on YouTube today. I didn't get a chance to punch it out on Twitter, so you got to go to YouTube and click on all of our things and like and subscribe so we can beat the algo. We suck at that. Make sure you sign the guest book so you can get the free Fabiano gift. I think we're getting buses today, I believe. So if you probably have a large rat collection in your OpenSea folder at this point, check your hidden if you've been signing the guest books. You're going to have a bus this week. And whatever else we send you, we're going to have some prizes and things. Yeah, we got rats and buses and eggs, and it's, you know, we're going to have a good time. Let's see what else. If you have a question for OONA or Paradoxx, relay them to Show in the chat box at SHO, and he will relay them to those speakers. And I'm gonna get off the mic, and we're gonna kick this off. We can do this much faster without Matt. Look how much we expedited that. If you don't know, you should know. We're like Metaverse Public Broadcasting. We've been doing this for 6 years, which is like 6,000 Metaverse years. If you donate to the WIP Meetup.eth, it gets chopped up amongst our crew. If you want to donate a lot of money, we'll build you some fucking monument out here and, sing praises to you dressed as whatever the hell you want every week. We'll go all out. Shout out to everyone who makes this happen week in, week out. Foxy Yoga, Easy, Paradoxx Show, Dragon 8, Commonwealth the Stowaway, Brokeoff the Chef, Fabiano, Patricia, Fractilians, Johan, Matt, Metageist. It was a lot without Matt, but I'm going to get myself off the mic and pass the mic over to Paradoxx. And for real, get in world. If you're not in world, you don't want to miss this. I'll try and screen share if I can do it without breaking my computer concurrently, because this is one of the doper reveals. I was sitting here yelling to myself, even though Paradoxx was typing to me in Discord, how excited I was for it. So hop in world, and I'm going to throw the mic over to Paradoxx and get off the mic, and we'll get this show on the road.
Alrighty, can you hear me? Testing.
Yeah, sounds good, dude.
Beautiful. Okay, last chance to get in world, because there is going to be a bit of a reveal. So I've been building for like a solid week, so much that I haven't I haven't planned anything I'm going to say, so I might be a bit rambly, but that's okay. Alrighty, so this is the WIP VIP booth, which is going to function as our pre-WIP going forwards. I'm going to put up a little a thing for Foxy Yoga soon. I didn't get around to that. But we have the main space, which is being completely redesigned, re-optimized, and I'll talk about that. But what I want everyone to do that is in world is I want you to get in front of the stage, kind of near this big window, because that is what we are about to reveal. So let's give everyone 30 seconds to go over. So Hidden Forces, we've got Anonymous, Show. You're going to move over. Nifty Time, who's probably still screwing around with his audio. Fabiano, you're going to come stand by the window. Ballistic Banana, everyone. Okay, and then I have an assistant ready, but don't press the button yet. 900, don't press it. Last chance for the reveal. Fabiano? Last chance. Anyone else that's in world, go stand. Oh, Straw Hat, go stand. Okay, that's your final chances. Okay, cool. So, without further ado, let us, I'm checking recording, look outside the window and do your thing, Mr. Assistant 900. Go for it. Hopefully it works. Yeah, there we go. And this is our new space. I can't see what you're saying, but because I'm getting video as we talk. Okay, cool. And we are going to go explore this space, and we're going to go talk about it. And yeah, this is our new playground, completely redesigned. Ooh, thank you, Dragonate. I'll let this sink in for a sec whilst I get some footage. Nice, beautiful.
Yo, Paradoxx, I'm gonna unlock the door, but I have to deliver a piece of instructions for the audience. When we exit the room, there's an egg VRM, and in order to participate in the activity for OONA, you must be dressed as an egg. So upon exit from the VIP room, everyone must transition into egg costumes.
Yeah, so the back of the room there is an exit, so which should now be unlocked if Rizzle does that. And then you should be able to go into world and we can have a run around and explore. Is that going to work? There we go. Is it working? No? Oh, no. Something broke. Okay, so
it's definitely fucking broken.
Okay, so the easy way around this, if you type into the chat, type / and then type stage, STAGE, and that should take you there. So, so / stage, and that should get you there. And hopefully we don't crash it, but we'll probably fix that for anyone that is coming in. So yeah, this is our new space. And one thing, I made a load of adjustments to this. So what my idea was to make something familiar but redesigned. And one of the things, kind of work with what we do well, and kind of just make it better. So one of the things I did was I made a flag. So you guys, we have a tour flag. If everyone can see this, so guys, make sure to swap into the egg, what's called VRM, that where you spawned in, come do that. That's part of the rules. And so yeah, type /stage to get here, please. And then guys, if you can follow the flag, please. See if people. There we go. We're going to start from Fabio's house on the left and walk around.
To clarify, the egg a bunch of people piled in like right on top of the egg costume. But if you type /stage, there's a dancing egg right there, and you can click on the egg with sunglasses and turn into the egg. Just want to make sure everyone's got the egg protocol down.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And if anyone's keeping an eye on the chat, if anyone's confused how to get in, just let them know how to get into the stage. We'll fix the door. We knew something would go wrong. All right, cool. Guys, if you're in world, follow the flag. So this is our. So what I did. Tell you what, I'll walk us all around, show you all the features, and then we'll talk a little bit about the build in general. But all of these doors you can play with, and this is where we store our cars because everyone likes our cars. So that's interactive, and there's lots and lots of car slots here, so we can play with that. I've got a couple of homages to like Dragon 8. There's one for me. We also have a Toxam's Avatar Lab. So we've got an official place to swap into avatars, which is pretty dope. You can go into the shop and you can click the avatars and you can, change into those avatars. But don't do it now. You're meant to be an egg. Over here we have the Afties, which at some point we'll probably build out into being like a little nightclub. And it's definitely not a strip club. Because I said to Matt and Rizzo, I was like, I'm getting strip club vibes, but it's definitely not a strip club. All right, let's move this along. So if you come down this way, follow the flag. We've got a little alleyway. Go down the alleyway, and if you see that 9/0 is hiding in the bin, in the trash, whatever we Americans call it, the trash. We've got a couple of grifters at the back, and we've got Dragon 8's box. There's a little ceremony going on here, getting drunk and burning Dragon 8's box, because that amused me. All right, I'll let everyone have a quick look into the alleyway, and then we'll move on. Anyone else want to go? I guess you can look at your leisure. Right, if we keep going, feel free to open and close doors as we go, because everyone likes to open doors. The idea of this is because we have a lot of cars, we have a lot of decorations in the WIP, and it kind of gets busy, it gets a bit clogged. So this design means that we can put our decorations on kind of shelves, like the top of these buildings. They're just out the way, and tidy, because the WIP gets a little bit messy sometimes. So yeah, so we've got right in the corner here, you can see our support your local WIP crew, which Brooke Hawk made, and it means now it's just kind of front and center, meaning, give us money. We've got right in the middle of the parcel, we've got the guest book, means we can actually see it, people can sign it, and yeah, so we can use that in future. And then we've also got, right underneath the guest book, we have a field trip portal, which if you walk into it, don't do it now, it will take you, right now it's taking to a co-trip city, but we can change that in the future however we need. But yeah, you can kind of see we're just taking what we've done before, and just kind of refined it a little bit more. Let's keep walking around, follow the flag. Flag's such a simple idea. Yeah, we got our main WIP posters and stuff, so that's good. And then if we come over here, we have our WIP gallery. So we actually have a little bit more of an organized space to exhibit people's work. So this is a fairly big space. I know Rizzo likes to make giant posters and stuff, so we can come in. Yeah, it just means we can make stuff big, really. And we can extend this gallery in the future if we need to. But for now, I think we're going to get to this and have a proper tour of the actual artist, OONA, of her work. But for now, I think we're nearly there. So continue around, follow the flag. Follow the flag. I like how people follow the flag in cars. Right, so I haven't filled all the garages yet because we might expand, and also cars are a little bit heavy on performance. But we might put like prizes and stuff in here and lock them and do bits and pieces. And then we've got extra things that we had before, like our bus stop and the sus cabin and stuff. So yeah, and then right in the very middle of the parcel, above the big screen, and the big screen's important, we've got our Discord information as well. So and then I didn't talk about the actual stage. Yeah, the stage you can fly up, and there's also little extra things in here, like there's ramps, obviously, and we can move those ramps and put them wherever we want, so that's fun. And then we've also got a nice little stage area for Fabiano's Patricia's weekly artwork, which is great. So, alrighty, that's kind of our main tour. But I just want to talk a little bit about. You're probably thinking this is a lot in terms of like performance. I've tried really hard to optimize everything as much as possible. So currently, this whole space is 76 megabytes in total. Just to give you an idea, 50 megabytes of that is the VRMs. Which we're going to kill a load of VRMs. Like, we don't need as many every week. Like, there's a load in the VIP booth. But the actual build itself, so like all of the buildings, all of the stage, all of the gallery, all of that is 2.5 megabytes and something like 80 draw calls, which is pretty good. So it's like heavily compressed. And I had a load of help from Vox, who we've had on before. He's like the king of optimization. It gave me a load of tips and different tools to use, and like instancing and then different compression sites I can use. So that really helped. And then also anything that's like permanent, like the GIFs we have in here. Like we've got where are they? What GIFs we? So like there's a couple of GIFs above the main screen, like the Frankie's puppets. Before they were GIFs, and GIFs really don't work very well in hyperfy in terms of performance. They lag everything up. So we've sort of converted them into like UV scroll materials. I think that's right. I had help from 9/0, who helped me do those. 9/0 also helped me do a couple of things like the alleyway and a couple of like decent little ideas. Just kind of finish the whole thing off and do a load of checks to make it sure it's all working fine. But yeah, I mean it should be pretty performant. As I said to Matt and Rizzle, it's probably about the same, if not slightly better than it was before. Simply because whilst there's a lot more stuff, it's better optimized. But before we had like the big stage and all those bits weren't very well optimized. But there was a lot of it, a lot of separate models. But obviously we just get more bang for your buck here. The biggest thing in terms of performance right now is all the gallery images and all the GIFs that have been put down. But that won't happen every week. We'll have less, so should perform better. But yeah, in general, welcome to the what are we calling it? The WIP HQ 2.0. I hope you enjoy it, and yeah, it's been a good week. My motivation behind it has been kind of I'm going to be getting like a full-time job soon because I need money. So I just kind of wanted a last kind of last bit of time to to build something for the WIP for the community. I'll still be around and I'll still be building, but I wanted to spend a decent amount of time building. So awesome. I think that's about me, and I'm probably about on time. What do you reckon, Rizzo?
Yo, Paradoxx, man, really appreciate everything that you put into this. And someone throw Paradoxx like a shitload of money so he doesn't have to go out into the real world. We should all each other avoid that as much as humanly possible. If anyone's lost, I'm screen sharing in Discord, so you can click on my name and sort of see what I'm seeing. We're really throwing OONA into the fire here in terms of like throwing her into like a spacious parcel, and we got eggs and cars and all this shit all over the place. However, we have like a gallery with her art in it that is hung up over here, and I'm not sure if she can make it over here, but she can probably see my screen or at least talk to us about what she's on. Are we in?
I'm flying in. Yeah, I'm butter right now.
All right, cool. So, if you can make your way over to the gallery, if you type /stage and you're facing everything, it's on the right-hand side. My shit just crashed, but I'm gonna hop back in. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna pass the mic over to OONA so that she can introduce herself. And there's a lot going on here, and I can't wait to hear it from OONA's perspective. So let's do the thing. OONA, take the mic from me.
Oh, hey. I mean, I just got booted out of the space, so I'm coming back in too.
Oh, me too. We're so many eggs.
Yeah, I know. Crack 'em, crack 'em, crack 'em. I always like to make kind of some egg jokes. Okay, bam, I'm back at the stage. Let me just kind of fly over to wherever you are. First of all, Paradoxx, incredible space. It's like, yeah, super, super, super magnificent, and really, really so flattered to be the first kind of work that is exhibited here. And I guess for the egg motif, it's quite fun because I think we're all declaring that the eggs came before the chickens. So I'm just scrolling on over. I thought it would be an interesting way to kind of talk about my practice, keeping it like really domestic through animal objects and these things that we know quite well. So, oh, I'm cool. I'm like the sexy lady avatar right now. I love this one. Okay, I'm coming in. Here we are. Okay, so, let's just start. Yeah. I'm going to start by looking at these two videos that are on the left. And, there was someone in the chat that was like, oh, what's that sound of this auction happening in the background? And I'm so sorry if you have to hear this. I can like barely listen to this performance anymore. But this was my first kind of really big performance. And it was called Milking the Artist. And I performed it with Laurie Baldwin, who's an excellent performance artist. And essentially, it was right around the time that like, I don't know, you go to these art fairs and everyone in crypto was like, oh yeah, let's go to, Art Basel Miami. So it was becoming like quite a big thing even within our community. But I've been going to Art Basel forever. And the truth is, when you go to these art fairs, it's like so stuffy and so boring and so obnoxious, and everyone's taking themselves so seriously. And at this time, we were all kind of like making this, I don't know, new world in NFTs, saying that like, hey, artists actually deserve respect, which obviously didn't last very long. And hey, artists actually don't deserve to get milked like cows. We deserve a bit more. So I came up with this performance called Milking the Artist. And I proceeded to auction off a glass of my breast milk live to an impromptu audience. And, I included this video over here because, obviously we got kicked out. It wasn't a sanctioned performance. They actually kicked us out like quite aggressively, and you can see this like massive crowd that we're pummeling through. And one of my favorite things that like, I heard someone over say was like, what was that? Was that art? Do you think that was art? And it was just so sweet and very fun. And then I went around to all these newspapers, the Miami Herald, TMZ, Daily Mail, and I was like, hey, I did this really cool performance. I'd like you to write about it. And they're like, well, who actually paid for it? And they wouldn't publish anything unless I had a receipt. I was like, oh, I know this thing called, blockchain. Just give me a second. So OONA bought the wallet address. Now that you're paying attention, pay 50 Ether for the glass of breast milk. And, kudos to Colborne who's here. Museum of Crypto Art, especially Max, who's wonderful, brilliant, incredible writer, was one of the only people to really uncover the depth of the performance. And I think that probably we can all in this room relate to the idea that it's seemingly like there's two worlds that are happening. This cool, really lovely emergent ecosystem in which some of us are really here, we care, we show up, and we're willing to do the kind of like stick around. And then there's this other kind of like art world that exists that maybe I don't really feel like I'm such a part of. And I quite like that. So to me, it was nice that this performance had like a dual life, right? Like all these people there, they understood that I was talking about, the value of like labor and, women's milk and the value of like breast milk, especially amongst like high priced art. But if you're like into crypto, then you understood that I was also talking about wallet washing and what that kind of meant for our ecosystem. Oh yeah. So we see that purple egg over there? I'm gonna walk us to a purple egg that says OONA on it. Oh my God, who's in the bus? All right, so I've gone slightly out of order. I should have done the egg first. Yeah, so my very first project was this thing called OONA eggs. And actually they're remarkably cheap on OpenSea, and I have a few, so I think we're gonna do a little kind of let's get a new egg and a new home and a new wallet. But this is quite funny because, my first foray into NFTs was actually because I'd won a grant from Playboy for the art of gender and sexuality. And I really quickly realized like, wow, Playboy is probably going to rug, so I should try and kind of like find my own way to do something. So coinciding with this like Playboy exhibition that never actually took place, I decided that I would release a series called OONA Eggs, and I made 28 eggs for each day of my cycle. And then that I would, at the end of the 28 days, I would abort any eggs that had not been collected. I got all these like Playboy guys to, buy the art. They were loving it. And then at the end, when I actually aborted some of these eggs on chain, they all kind of looked at me and they were like, what the fuck? So, my great claim to fame is that most of my collectors, my first collectors actually blocked me, which I think is very funny. And just kind of telling that it goes against the meta at the time, which was, like, collect your collectors. And it's like, no, actually just make the art that you want to make and it will eventually find the right people. And if not, it's good for the story. So I think that was quite funny. And what these eggs were was kind of like a project, that evolved over 9 months. And I used all of the proceeds from the different sales of the 9 months to basically launch into, okay, well, what happens after the egg is hatched? Well, then you have the baby, and what happens to the baby? You need to feed the baby. So that's how I also was like, okay, next it's milk. Then milk kind of became like my thing for a little bit, and I got really into like all these like videos about liquidity, which is like these big kind of like milks that you see just like being poured over and overflowing. This was like as the bear market was just starting to set in, so it really had this feeling of like the teat has been sucked dry. So I was really into making kind of all these like videos about milk and performances about milk. So I'm going to bring us over here. If we just like cross the street, the gallery is so wonderful to see these images like this. Yeah, all my bus boys. So this here, where Una's being nice and domestic. All my performances are layered, and I tend to repeat the same objects and the same props as what I like to call ready-mades. So, in this image behind me, you'll see that I have the same breast on that I used during milking the artist. I have the same breast that I am like in spread, which is the big image here where my legs are spread. It's the same horse hooves that I'm wearing that you'll see in spread as well. And basically all of these objects to me, they function as kind of like, I don't know, like ready-mades would be the most art historical word, but I think deep symbols about the questions that I'm asking, right? So, and this performance was quite cool. It was called Milk and Scissors. And, in this image here, that's kind of the one where I'm on the floor, you can see this chair. And right above the chair, there was a bucket of milk that was filled to the brim. And the milk was attached to a string. And that string was connected like to the ground. And there was a pair of scissors. So I want you to imagine that you come into a gallery. Una's sat in these like horse hooves and these boobs, fake boobs. In this chair, underneath this bucket. I stand up, I set a timer for 20 minutes, and then I just start aggressively making eye contact, basically with people in the gallery that I think I can convince from a seated position to go cut the string and spill the milk. And I basically identified one guy where I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna like hone in on you via eye contact. And I think it took like, 3 minutes of me making eye contact with him. Like he would move to different parts of the gallery, and then like I would just kind of follow him, and then people would be like, oh, me, and like move to the side. So it was really like, an exercise in kind of like where is power and how powerful gaze is, even though I was kind of being perceived as this object. And of course, he cut the string, the milk spills all over, and then I went through this kind of rigorous process of cleaning this up. I should also say that this performance took place in a shopping mall, so it was very weird to kind of be in the shopping mall setting, trying to do a performance art, but also kind of this piece about domesticity. And you can see that like the milk started to spill out into the hallway. So that was quite fun. I got to go kind of like prance around the shop, cleaning up my own liquidity. Yeah, let me see. Milk. Right, okay, so then I became obsessed with this idea of, okay, I'm just making a zigzag. What happens if you churn milk? Actually, let's just say right here really quickly. So what happens if you churn milk? Well, if you churn milk, you get butter. So I thought that butter would be the next kind of like evolution that I would really follow. And this piece right here is called Spread. And I wanted to kind of play on this notion that, it's a very centerfold image. And, what Laurie Baldwin there is actually stacking is butter. and very just, sometimes you get really lucky. We went to buy the butter, and the butter was wrapped in this green. So from far away, to me, this butter kind of looks like cash. And I thought that that was really telling. So the story behind this image, or the story behind this video, is that I wanted to make a piece, really a series called Sex and Speculation. And I'm going to be like kind of divergent in how I tell this story, because there's like 75 different ways. But Peggy Guggenheim has this really wonderful kind of a thesis for collecting. And, if we don't know Peggy Guggenheim, she's basically the woman that brought like lots of contemporary art to the United States. And she used to do this thing where she would, open up a show for an artist, and she'd be like, oh my God, your show is sold out. Your show? Sold out. People loved it. Oh, the buyer wants to stay anonymous. And she would basically buy her own artist work, and then she would promote the artwork as having been sold, thereby creating a market, and then she would sell it on secondary. So she kind of really helped prop up a lot of markets and really acted as like financial validation for a lot of artists. Why four sticks? So this piece, to me, it's the beginning of a series called Sex and Speculation. So it's about how sex, specifically gender, impacts speculation, and how the value of an artwork is inherently speculation. This video is originally 11 minutes long, so we just took the first like 4 seconds. But actually what ends up happening is we use butter to map out the gender pay gap on Super Rare of sales over 100 ETH. So this artwork was made in March of 2023. So I was really examining the 2021, NFT bull run, kind of the gender disparity on Super Rare, which I understand is like a very limited platform, and it was of sales over 100 ETH. I was trying to talk to, hey, if this is what the top of the pyramid, or the top of the supposed pyramid looks like, then this is a pretty good place to start. So I went through all of the sales on Super Rare that were over 100 ETH, and there were 123 sales over 100 ETH. And then I proceeded to map out with butter each one of those. So at the end of this video, there's actually 123 sticks of butter for the 123 sales. And then we kind of broke down, okay, so how much of that went to a solo female artist? And any guesses of the 123 sales? How many do we think went to a solo female artist?
7.
10, 2. Actually, only one. And it went to Casimard for a photograph called Hawaii, which is a beautiful photograph. But quite shocking to me that, we were all here at that moment, kind of like really caring about Una's speaking here by the flag. Okay, oh cool. I'm going to the flag. Yeah, so that's kind of where I started to use butter. And then I ended up doing this performance, which is, I churned butter at NFT NYC for over the span of like 3 days. And then I orchestrated an auction with Laurie Baldwin at Proof of People, New York City, with Vertical Crypto at the time. And yeah, then we proceeded to auction it off. And what was really quite funny with this one, there's like a whole backstory that goes into this. I can't believe it's made by a man. Butter, but basically, do you remember when the meta used to be like people, doing all those memes of like, ooh, fat thumbs, like sent to the wrong address, or oh, only meant to place a bid for like 1 ETH, too bad it was like 100 ETH. So I was kind of being tongue in cheek with that. And I orchestrated this whole performance that this one man actually ends up buying the butter on auction for 333 ETH. But obviously, if you were to check Etherscan, you would see really quickly it was 3.33 ETH. And what happened to me after that was really funny, because people would be like, oh my God, how'd you sell butter for 333 ETH? Do you will you be on my next show? And I'd always say like, yeah, of course I would love to be in the next show. What's the next show? Like, let's do the next show. Because I'm a performance artist and I work like a dog. So I'm always looking for what's the next thing? Where is the next thing? How do I want to kind of like perform and iterate next? and then after we would talk about it, I'd be like, but you haven't just offered that because you think I made a lot of money, right? And that was funny to me to see how people's kind of reactions would change based on how much money they had thought you made or did not make. Because as an artist, especially an artist, that's interested in the work that I'm interested in, gender, sexuality, speciesism, power, all those types of things, they're really valuable, but maybe not for this market. So I think that, part of what I've learned throughout being a crypto artist, part of I think we've all learned by just kind of being and surviving in here, is really this idea that we make our own value. And that's what keeps me here. And that's what keeps me attracted to this, to the space. I'm going to flash us kind of over to this, my OONA cow GIF. Someone actually made this for me, and I just thought that it was very sweet. And if you know, I've got some serious planned performances for this year about cows. And I did a whole thing in Marfa, Texas about being a cow. And of course, right, I'm not really interested in being a cow or being perceived as a cow. I'm not interested in the cow even really as an animal. I am to a certain effect. I'm more interested in the relationship that we have with animals like cows for what we extract from them. We extract their milk, we extract their babies. Cows get raped every day. And I know that's not pleasant to say, but I think there is a really big metaphor here between how do we view kind of the nutrients of life? How do we view the subservience of women? And, like a lot of my work is again questioning, like, where is a woman's identity? Is it in like the kind of milk that I can provide, like a cow? Or is it in, this degree of sexuality? Or is it in something that's altogether much bigger? Obviously, I think it's altogether much bigger. But I really like dressing up as a cow. And so later this year, I'm going to live with a cow in New York City for a duration of 72 hours. That's a deep little secret, so we keep that in the WIP house. And I'll kind of bring us up and out to the front where I thought that we kind of skipped two things. Oh my god, there's even a place for afties. I want to go to afties. Cool, I love this spot. So right here, outside the gallery.
So, OONA, really appreciate the dive into your stuff. I don't know if we got a bunch of questions rolling in, like, as you've been talking, and I don't want to cut you off if you still got more to say about what's out here, but also want to make sure we have time for that, too.
Sick, haven't seen any of the questions. So let me just say what we're looking at right here, because that's kind of, I think that'll sum it all up.
We got
right, so it was really interesting.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, so basically I've been using all of these symbols, and at the start of this year, I was really kind of like, whoa, things are dramatically changing within kind of crypto culture. I think that it's going to be super important now for crypto artists, for artists in general, to be exercising independent thought. And I think that independent thought is really just like kind of, they're going to be much more necessary, and artists are going to need to be much more kind of vocal. And also it's fucking crime season. So I didn't want to do any more performances where people would kind of be physically touching me. So I looked at how I could kind of contribute to the conversation that's happening so much right now, especially around meme coins, tokenomics, where crypto is headed. And to me, it was quite funny because, right, in my practice, I use symbols of eggs, milk, butter. We just went through a whole fucking gallery of the ways in which I've, used these symbols to question different things, whether that's sexuality or domesticity or, the financial evaluation of an artwork. I use all of these symbols. And what was funny to me is that I started to list like, okay, eggs a symbol, milk's a symbol, butter's a symbol, cow's a symbol. All of those had already been made into meme coins on Base. And it was quite funny because obviously, boobs, which is the image that's floating over there on the right of the entryway, boobs has a market cap of like 300K, and then dick butt has a market cap of like, 1 million. So even in this new technology, we're kind of seeing the same replication of value, right? So cow, which is the one that's displaying right in front of me, that has like a market cap of 36K, you know, but obviously the value of a cow is much, much, much greater. So I'm interested in kind of like, yeah, exploring that. And these are 12 dynamic artworks that basically they change according to live price fluctuations. And I'm unveiling them at the NASDAQ next week. So yeah, Riz, I'm passing the mic back.
Yo, I'm glad I let you finish your thought, and really appreciate everything you're doing out here, and also literally the fucking guts that you have just to fucking go out there and be Una out there in public, because this shit is wild, and I appreciate you sharing it with us. We've got a bunch of questions that have rolled in. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Show to relay them to you, and in the meantime, gonna prepare for the really silly, idiotic portion of this after the very serious artistic portion of it. So if everyone could turn into eggs and grab a vehicle while Show's relaying questions, that'll prepare you for the the race afterwards. So turn into type /stage, turn into an egg, grab a vehicle, and then just sort of give yourself a self tour of the parcel while Show's relaying some questions to Una.
Have fun.
Yeah, let's go.
Be excellent. An egg's favorite day, Friday.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? How's my audio?
Great.
Great.
Cool. Hey, Una. So we have a question from Hidden Forces. He would like to know, what's the most unexpected reaction your works have received?
Oh God. I don't know. One that's just immediately coming to mind, and I don't know why I'm thinking of this right now, is that I remember I went to a really like hoity-toity kind of yeah, I went to a very hoity-toity like cocktail hour in Geneva, in Switzerland, for this UNHCR kind of like Christie's auction that I was a part of. And I remember standing kind of like, just getting myself a glass of water, really white wine. And this lady and her husband kind of like are pointing at me and snickering. And I think she was basically telling her husband that she thought that I must have been an escort. And then, 10 minutes later, I was up on the stage having like a panel talk, and she came up to me afterwards and she was like, I just want to apologize for how I acted at the bar, which I thought was really cool and really funny. That's one kind of example of like how people interact with me in public. And then I guess the other is like, I showed my dad some of this work and he was like, wow, we've really messed you up.
That's awesome. We also have a question from Hidden Forces. He would like to know, who's been your most rewarding collaborator and why is it Dragonate?
Who's been my most rewarding collaborator? Well, definitely you, Hidden Forces. No, I mean, I came into this industry really knowing no one. I made my very first friend my very first day at NFT NYC, and we're still friends. And, I think for like every 100 people that you meet in this industry, about 10 are like really fucking amazing, and the other 99 or the other 90 are like sociopaths that you never want to see again. So I think that I've collaborated with so many people. Like Nina Nack just wrote a really lovely article about me. Kelsey and I, who's in here, we work together all the time. And I think it's really quite cool that I can send a message, and connect with Rizzle and then be like, yeah, let's do something. And it just kind of happens this way. So yeah, I'm going to say everyone's my favorite collaborator.
That's awesome. Brookhawk would like to know, what is going on with Una at NASDAQ?
Yeah. The title of the performance was called This Is Not a Spectacle. And I think that's all I'm at liberty to say at the moment. I will be unveiling these 12 artworks. And then I'm kind of going to do the psycho thing of, doing a 24-hour live auction of them at 0.0. So the NASDAQ is kind of a performative kickoff, shall we say. And I don't think that they know what is coming.
Thantea would like to know, do you feel the space has an underutilized female audience / needs to attract a larger female audience, or a male majorative audience who favors female symbology?
Great question. I I'm always like weary to say like, yeah, we need to attract like more women, because there's so many of us here, and it's not to be like disparaging to the ones that are. There's something It's something to be said about creating more spaces where women's art can be celebrated. I am no longer interested in being another like fucking like women's panel, right? Like I'm so over that. It's so boring. I don't think we are going to attract more women by being like, hey, here's a women in Web3, another blah, blah, blah thing, because then you get there, and I've gone to all of them and I've spoken at all of them, and it's really lovely. But you get there and it's basically just a small microphone. And we actually just need to be seen in equal parity. I don't need to be on an all women's panel. I need to be on a panel of artists. And if that panel of artists happens to be all women, well then great. Definitely agree that this space is majority men. Men are majority collectors, and primarily, especially for the work that I'm interrogating as OONA, most men are actually kind of the audience as well.
That's cool. Lastly, we have a question from WG Meets. He would like to know, what do you have on your walls at home?
What do I have on my walls at home? Gosh, if I had a home, I'd have a lot of shit up. Actually, it's quite cute. So right now I've just come to New York City so I could plan this NASDAQ performance. I also did another guerrilla performance not too long ago at the Wall Street Ball. I'm not sure if we're familiar with the meme coin dick butt, but I decided that it would be really fun to perform dick butt at the Wall Street Ball. So on a very sunny day a week ago, I went to Wall Street Ball and I got out this flaccid penis and I started slapping the back of the ball's ass for 3 minutes and 33 seconds, shouting dick butt, dick butt, dick butt. And I say that because I'm in this shitty apartment in New York City, so I don't actually have anything around me, but I do have this flaccid penis here. So kind of if you were to imagine that you're sat in my room right now, you'd see a really big bookshelf from this other artist whose room I'm staying in, and you'd see all of his belongings, and then you'd see me and a big cup of tea and a big flaccid penis next to me. And on that's OONA, darlings. So I can't hear you. Hello?
Show might be either broke or that was the last of the questions. Yo, OONA, really appreciate you fielding these questions and everything out here. We're gonna do some dumb shit. If you have anything else you'd like to say while I'm hurting people, please do so. But now's the time, everyone. So if you can grab a vehicle, we're gonna pull up over by the Afties. And so I'm going to give everyone like a couple minutes to do that, and we'll get Paradoxx a chance to get some pictures and everything. But I'm going to just kill 30 seconds rambling or passing the mic over to OONA to wrap things up. So get a vehicle, meet me over at the Afties. I got the flag. You got to be an egg. If you're not an egg, I don't see, but there's an OONA egg up for grabs potentially. So you want to do this thing. So have a vehicle, and if you don't know how to drive or you just really suck at this, just get in a vehicle. I'm going to throw the mic back to OONA, and just thank you very much for hopping on the stage here and also allowing me to run wild, because this is going to be some idiotic shit, performance art of our own variety using your. So appreciate the opportunity to do this because it's going to be stupid.
I mean, right back at you. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. I think it's really fun. I love giving my work to people and being like, yeah, let's go wild, whatever you want to do. So I hope that you guys get scrambled, really scrambled. And my one last kind of but I'm deeply shadow banned. So if ever you see me online, say hello. Okay, thank you so much. May the best egg win.
Perfect. All right, we got a lot of eggs in cars. We got multiple eggs in vehicles. This is great. Dragonate, can you have maybe 2 minutes of egg racing music queued up, whatever that might be? Someone's cheating on the Meta Guy's vehicle. I see you, egg. Back to the start line. So this is how it's gonna work. When Dragonate starts the music, you are not allowed to go off the track. You got to go around the track into the art gallery, directly through OONA's vagina at the end, and do 2 laps around the dancing milk in the back to churn it. And I'm going to be there judging you harshly, and that's how this is going to work. So give me a second to fly over there. So just to recap, you started at the dumpsters by the Afties. I don't know if Paradoxx did that intentionally, but it works out great. And when I say go, you got to race along the racetrack, through the art gallery, through Una's vaginas, dressed as an egg, 2 laps around the milk to churn it, and we've done our thing, and then you win something from us and from Una. Hang on, I'm almost through Una's vagina to get there myself. All right, Dragonite, whenever you're ready. As soon as the music goes.
This dragon the star is amazing. My name is Zero. Good job. Go, go, go. I was biased. I just jumped in the first part, so I hope they win.
Oh my god, that's tremendously stupid. Represent the Rizzlefest plus ones. Can the eggs in the Rizzlefest bus identify themselves?
The Rizzlefest plus one.
Who's driving this thing? Hang on, I'm getting it.
That was me. That was Colborn.
Oh, what's up, Colborn? Yo, good shit. Way to fucking represent.
Oh, all those years of Grand Theft Auto paying off.
Yeah, dude, that was great. The bus was like hard to navigate as well. Yo, we got prize coming Colborn's way. Make sure everybody signs the guest book because Fabiano's got giveaways coming out to everybody. Actually, a bus. We got like multiple bus themes going on. We're gonna do a group shot in here too. I keep forgetting Matt's here. Matt's like actually at the whip today, but like we lost him at the start and just like never looked back. Let's just transition right on over to Paradoxx, and then I'll eventually get the mic over to Matt. But we should do a group shot in here. There's a lot of locations that could be great. I'll let Paradoxx choose though. We'll just do the theme song and get it rolling.
Congratulations, Colborn.
Just a humble cameraman looking for a tiny bit of attention. It's me, Paradoxx. Get your asses in line and smile for the fucking camera. No one cares about Matthew and Rizzle, that's for sure. It's about me, Paradoxx. I'm taking over the show.
Alrighty, I'm back. Una, that was amazing. That's stupidly awesome race. Cool, and yeah, gotta say, great artist to debut our space and gallery, so thank you. Alrighty, let's get to the photo time. So if you don't know me, I'm Paradoxx. I'm the resident WIP videographer, an architect now apparently. But yeah, right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna gather everybody kind of where you spawned in the city. There's like a little platform next to the ramp. So if everyone kind of take a minute to fly there, and I'm gonna do like if you can kind of face the WIP booth, then I am going.
I just saw us come out of Una's vagina. I'm getting there. Hang on.
This is a strange whip. All right, there's a lot of eggs here. If we can line up like eggs, like go in boxes, so a nice grid pattern, please. Let's see if see if we can do this. Right. Okay. Let's have see how many people we got. Let's do rows of 4 first. All right. So we got front row, and we got second row. All right. Anyone else? You're gonna make sure if you're not Una, it looks like you're not an egg. The very back. There's an egg right at the very back. Actually, no. It's kind of nice. Maybe Una stands in the middle. So, cool. Right. Any more eggs for any more eggs? No. All right. All eggs are in one basket. So, if you type /dance, you will be dancing eggs. And then Dragonite, if you play some music, if you have any set. And I'm gonna do
give Matt Nice a chance to get in here. We should get everyone in for this one. He's hopping in. Valiant's hopping in. Everyone dance to your eggs. Type /stage if you're not there.
Beautiful. All right, I think that just about does it. The last thing for me to say is I edit together these recap videos every single week, so you can catch them. They go out on Rizzle's Twitter. I think this one's gonna be be a good one. All right, cool. Paradoxx out. I'll see you all next week. Cheers.
Thank you so much. This was so cool. I had so much fun. You're all so wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye.
Yo, thanks so much. It was a lot of fun. Look out for the mashup Paradoxx gonna put out coming out next week. Yo, Matt, we missed anything, man? How you doing, dude? We got your audio problem solved? Nah. We're just gonna do this whole thing. Matt's dead. Yo, make sure everyone signs the guest book this week. We got giveaways coming out. Colborn's gonna get an egg, I believe. Matt's somewhere in the stuck in the metaverse in an egg costume. We know he's out there. Yo, we'll be back next week with another good one, and I think that's about it for this week. We're gonna pass it over to show for the Afties. I don't know. I'm kind of lost. I'm like, there's this normal progression where at this point I don't really know what to do or say, but then I just lob it over to Matt, and that's my exit to figure out what's going on. But instead I just trail off and ramble. So that's it. We're gonna pass it off to the show for the Afties, and see y'all next week. Thanks, everyone.
Butt stuff.
Wait, is this thing on?
It's time for the FTs.
Hot takes, opinions, thoughts. Let's go!
Yo, how's my audio?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Sorry, hold on. Oh, why am I showing this? Why am I showing this? Too late. It's all the porn. You just had enough porn with OONA. Wasn't that enough porn for you already? WIP fam. WIP fam. WIP fam, what the fuck is up? I'm your host, show. You already know. If you don't know, you will know by the end of this herpetic growth that's spewing pus and all kinds of shit. No, actually, it's the opposite. We're fucking blowing dust. This vulva that is known as the Afties is chock full of dust. There's no precipitation over here. There are no frozen eggs. There's no kind of action. Nobody's getting action. Nobody is getting action whatsoever. And it's okay, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, right? I'm always honest. I'm always honest. But I'm gonna be as real as I possibly can right now. First and foremost, if this isn't your thing, if this isn't your vibe, I curse, I yell, I scream. Sometimes my voice gets scratchy and very hard to listen to when I scream into this Blue Yeti microphone. This is not your jam. Please feel free to leave. You can leave. You can go. It's all good. But of course, if you stay, there's all kinds of insight and stupid hot takes that are provided to you and brought to you by yours truly. Also, by the way, you can click on me in the voice channel. You can see what the hell I'm sharing if you want to follow along with things. But frankly speaking, nothing happened this week. Nothing happened this week at all. There isn't much to share. There isn't much to talk about. And I have a lot of emotions about that. I hate January, February, and March, and a little bit of April. Just my entire life. I've always felt like it's a very depressing couple of months. It's not the November, December of winter that pisses me off. It's these months. I hate them a lot. It feels like responsibility. It feels like endlessness. No end in sight It's like the opposite of gloomy, you know? I don't want to bring you down. I don't bring a Debbie down. I just want to call it what it is. So during this period, I loved it when crypto would say, "Fuck that! We're doing things. We're moving. We're shaking. We're partying. We're having fun. We're pouring milk into our vaginas at fucking installations." I'm like, yeah, let's do more of that shit. Let's do that shit, right? I'm about that. You know, let's build things. Yeah, shout out to Paradoxx for building an awesome, like revamping the whole thing. I love that. I really like the vision, and I see where he went. It's awesome. It's incredible. That's super fire. Shout out to him for putting as much love and care into that. I'm pretty sure his favorite part of the whole thing was the fact that he was paid and looking at porn on the walls. That was his payment for building all this shit. He got the opportunity to stare at the fake breasts from OONA. Yeah, see, there's something there. All right, but okay, my point though, back to what I was saying. Many projects made promises in last year in Q4. So in October, November, December, projects said, hey, we're either A, we're dropping a token, B, we're launching our project that we've had in fucking alpha or beta for 3 to 5 fucking years. Or C, we're doing community great things. We're doing things, right? We're looking to find things to do. You know, and this is what separates the women from the boys. You know, for the strong boss ladies from the boys. I don't want to say men from the boys because, you know, it's not about gender. It's about being empowered, right? Coming off of that OONA thing, I feel empowered, you know? I take your word as being your word. So if a project says, hey, we're doing this shit, we're doing it, and it's coming out Q1. Now, my history with corporate bullshit makes me know, like, okay, either it's not coming out Q1, but Q2, or it's coming out Q1, but they do this funny little thing where they wait until the last fucking day. The last fucking day. They're gonna say, hey, you've been waiting this long. Now, I have issues with this. Because it's not technically Q1, it's Q2. Call it what the fuck it is, right? You're getting people's hopes up, keeping them on the hook, on the leash. And I get it, you wanna delay or have as much time as possible to make sure you get everything right so you don't fuck up. But at the same time, if you're making an announcement, the announcement is what the fuck it is. It makes me trust you less. I don't want to involve myself in a product or a project even that doesn't stick by its word. Now, many projects, obviously, you're like, come on, show, it's the crypto space. You know, these motherfuckers say a whole bunch of things. You don't fucking believe it. But some projects have a track record of doing what they say. Of doing exactly what they say. And I love that. I love that so much. I'm like, you know what? I want to stick by you. I like you. You said it, you meant it. We've had so many projects that delayed in this space, that talked a lot of shit and fucking lied hand on hand, fucking artifacts for one. You know, that stole money, right? There are other projects in this space, there are platforms that were supposed to release this week. You didn't release last week, you didn't release the week before. I made predictions. I make alpha predictions all the time on Twitter, even though I'm silenced because I don't have a blue check mark from Twitter. But I make predictions all the time. You don't have to trust my predictions. Obviously, like my hot takes, it's all tongue in cheek. I'm the stupidest fucking person. You don't have to believe it. I'm just calling it how I see it. I'm not paid by these projects. But there's certain things in my mind that just make sense. And lately, it's adjusted because of hype and all kinds of other things where I'm like, oh, I see the quick flash burn, you know, and I get it, you know, and I'm like, okay, like a pump fun radium, all those kinds of things. I'm like, okay, I've evolved. I've evolved in my sensibilities, in my analytical ability. But there's projects that I'm like, nah, this is gonna go. This is gonna be something. Even if the bar is set really low, at least getting a project out is something to me. This was supposed to be a week where a lot of these projects were supposed to fucking release. And it's Thursday, and they did not release. There were only I only made 2 predictions. 2 alpha predictions of projects or products that were supposed to release. Actually, there were 3. Okay. Rumble Kongs released. They delayed by a week, but it was still Q1. Third month of Q1. The longest month in the entire fucking year. I feel like March is never fucking ends, but it was Q1. They released. Even if their TGE had a lot of hiccups and issues, they made it up a week and a half later, and they managed to get the coins out. But the only thing is their product isn't out along with it. They're still in developmental hell. They just need to keep the product out so people can use the product along with the token. Don't do either or. Don't keep people on the leash or whatever. The other one was Form, the L2 from the former creators of Roll. They released their token, but they released it in a way where you're automatically invested. But the sole focus was about the price of the token, and if the price isn't going crazy, then obviously sentiment is going to be in the shitter. There's no incentive to utilize the platform. You can't compete amongst other L2s if you're just another L2, even if you are backed by many different people who have been in the space for years. Lastly, look at my screen. If you see my screen, this one right here, of the ones that released, and not the ones who were supposed to release. I'm gonna talk about the ones who didn't release in a moment. But if you look at my screen, this is one of the ones where I was like, oh God, please, just one of you motherfuckers just do something, man, please. I'm sick of this shit, man. Do you understand that I'm bleeding out? I'm fucking bleeding out. This is embarrassing. Like, people have round tripped. It's so bad. I need somebody to fucking, like, it's not even like, I'm not like save my bags. At this point, I'm just like, somebody do something that's worth all. We had somebody do something. Thank you for Matthew for curating like one of the most fucking successful fucking art drops in the past, I would say 3 years technically, right? Like to do it in the fucking down market. Shout out to Matthew Lucio Paletti. Incredible. You know, oh wait, no, by the way, sorry. Oh, by the way, also Mocha, shout out to Mocha too. Mocha, our Deco's being successful. My apologies. Our Decos did their thing. Our Decos dropped. They were also supposed to release most of their supply token, but Colburn is not here, so you can't hear me talking shit. But hopefully they release the rest of the supply of Mocha. That's neither here nor there. Anyway, back to this project that I'm sharing. A team that was just one of the mill 3.5 years ago, another NFT project. What was different was people tapped into their love of storytelling, a community of diehards. They kept releasing NFTs. They were saying, hey, you can use these things. Now, we've seen this with Open Loot. We've seen this with all these other projects. They're like, oh, yeah, you're getting more you can get animals, too, along with your main NFT, da-da-da. So when they actually started giving hints to their MMO and people were able to play and saw the potential, it was like, okay, this was something. Then they kept working on it and working on it and working on it. To the point where it was like, all right, I think that this could be something. This could be something, at least something in the fucking space. Ronin had Pixels, but Pixels is terrible. I don't need another farming simulator, man. I honestly don't need another farming simulator. Farming should be in addition to many other things in your product, not like, oh, I just want to chill and just have cool vibes. No, man. You need something to be engaged. You want to feel that you're utilizing. You want utility within your Web3 gaming in order to feel like your investment is something. If I'm not getting a monetary return, at least some kind of entertainment return with the hints and the potential incentive to accrue more monetary return in the future. And so anyway, the project I'm talking about is Universe. I was late to the game of Universe, but I always knew about Forgotten Realms and their wizards. I was like, dude, I don't want to buy a wizard. It's too fucking expensive. I'm already in Artifact. I thought Artifact was gonna have their metaverse and do all these things and blah blah blah. And that shit fell on his face. I don't want to be let down again. I don't want to waste money again. But clearly you don't know who's gonna be the horse in the race. You know, you don't know what's gonna be the winning horse in the race. So I was late to the party, but I still was able to get in because they had other NFTs, other playable NPC skins that you were able to acquire. If you couldn't get a wizard, you were able to get in through other ways, which is a very smart move. Onboarding an OG when an OG is scared for being burned again, you know, you gave an option for entry. And with the price also being low too, that was great. And no, I'm not being paid by this. They don't even know that I'm even fucking talking about this. But to me, it's the only thing that this was the only thing, man. This was the only fucking thing that happened this week. And I was just like, you know, it made me feel good that I was able to actually, because I played the beta, I played the open alpha, I played the beta test, all these things, and now I'm able to actually just sit and fucking play your product. That's it. Being able to just sit and play your product, and then not only that, they have intricate tokenomics where you were incentivized for previous playtime and engagement with their early alpha, closed alpha playtest. You incentivize them for in some of their in-game economy, which also, if you hold on to it, will eventually lead to you getting their real currency, their token, when it drops. But again, that was my only caveat. It's like, man, release the token along with the product. Release the token with the product, but you know, fuck it, man. There's still in-game economy. They're also talking about bringing in other tokens within the game itself. So there'll be other tokens unrelated to their product, like talking about outside, like cross-platform tokens, which is cool, interesting. I get it. Anyway, my whole point is that shout out to Universe for actually fucking releasing their product when they said they were gonna release their fucking product. No delay. Like any time they're like, look, we're working on the product, patch notes, like any other things. That's what they each week they allowed 1 hour playtest, 3 hour playtests in order to fix and do things in the moment, but also during the week. Even when they launched and then they had an issue, they immediately fixed the fucking problem. That is commendable in this space. Like that level of grit and tenacity. That level of saying, hey, we believe in our product too. No, we're not getting, well, there's no allocation for us right now currently based off of what the fuck is happening. We just released the product. I believe that they made more money by doing it this way. And like they made money on the secondary just by releasing a product that was so good that people wanted to engage with the product by purchasing things in order to play the fucking game. How simple of a tokenomics loop. I'm not even going to talk about a game loop. A tokenomics loop in order for you to engage with their in-game loop. That doesn't feel like a slog. Simple, man. Simple. And it's sad because I'm like, if only other projects in the space would have released their products when they said that they were going to release their products, then maybe I'm just gonna call a spade. Maybe the price of Ethereum or any of these other fucking L2 tokens or whatever, blah blah blah, wouldn't be in the shitter. Wouldn't be perpetually stuck at the same price, which is beyond my fucking understanding or belief. How is the price of Ethereum stuck where it's how if is no one using this chain at all, buying or selling? OpenSea has just said, hey, we're integrating the Ronin blockchain into OpenSea in March of 2025. Not only that, Devin Finzer, CEO or whatever the fuck his C-suite title is for OpenSea, purchased a Runiverse wizard before the launch of the game. Now, we all know that Ronin has been around for years, but you decide to integrate this blockchain now? Mixed feelings. Yeah, congratulations. You're late to the party. You got a fucking wizard and you're playing the game. You're a believer now. But Ronin should have been integrated into OpenSea years ago. Not only off of that, there were plenty of other products that were associated with the Ronin blockchain. Not only that, the leaders, the creators of the Ronin blockchain are very popular. Made your platform millions of dollars, literally. Not only that, the people who back Ronin, Sky Mavis, the people who back Sky Mavis are fucking crypto whales, nudge nudge wink wink, who've made your platform millions of dollars. So great, you're catching on, their support now, but at the same time, this shit should have happened a long time ago. I don't know, it's snafus like this, well, snafu's not the right term, but it's things like this that break my heart. What else breaks my heart is the fact that now we are, as a community, are solely reliant on OpenSea dropping a token in order for us to survive going into Q2. To survive monetarily, I need to cross my fingers and hope that OpenSea drops a token, when we've seen that previous TGEs have happened that have either been delayed with the claiming pages, or they force you to vest over a 3-month period, zero liquidity, things like that. I am still baffled, and I keep going back to this, I'm still baffled that Uniswap's token had some kind of liquidity that put money in people's pockets. I'm baffled that ENS, the Ethereum Name Services token, had liquidity that put a lot of money into people's pockets. Optimism's token put money into people's pockets. At times where there wasn't, when these things dropped, it wasn't the height of the height. But yet, OpenSea is scared to drop theirs because they're worried people are just going to sell the token. I don't know, but it sucks. It's disheartening. There are other projects that have released their games. They're in somewhat stasis. I believe that utility tokens and Web3 gaming are going to onboard regular normie people who have money, and that will be the thing that will bail us out. But if projects aren't releasing their projects, when they say they're going to release their projects, then nothing is going to happen for the space, because there's nothing else. There's no institutional investment. Institutional investment is going into ETFs, but for some reason, it's not trickling into the actual tokens that they're purchasing, which makes me believe that they are not purchasing directly. They're purchasing peer-to-peer, or they're purchasing directly from, let's say, like a Coinbase, a Brian Armstrong, a Kraken, a Gemini, and their reserves, as opposed to purchasing the fucking token. It has to be that way. It has to be that way, because there's no market activity from these people purchasing. There's only dump activity. Normies are going to be the thing that bail us out, because they're playing games, and then they're incentivized by a Runiverse wizard. They're incentivized by what I believe should have come out Q1. Parallel Colony should have come out. It's supposed to come out Q1. They said that they were on track. Wayfinder, the closed alpha, is now available. Everyone who signed up has access. Their token, everyone is waiting on the prompt token to release. But who knows what the value will be. There are certain things that are hung up. I always said that if all of these projects, who to me are the creme de la creme, would have released all their products all at the same time, you wouldn't have been competing with one another, or actually back to back. I don't want to say at the same time because that's what I felt. I felt like there's nothing happening. If there would have been a bottleneck, there wouldn't have been enough time to engage with all these projects, which is always what fucking happens in this space, where they don't do nothing, they don't say nothing, they go radio silent for months, and then suddenly everybody starts dropping at the same fucking time. You can't use the shit, you don't have the time, because we got so used to not doing anything, and then things fucking don't really work out, and they're like, oh my god, and like no one's using our thing. If all of these products, if there's 5 weeks in March for some fucking reason, if all of these projects would have released back to back, having their own week, we would have been fucking moving and shaking as a collective. There would have been so much activity that people would have really said that, hey, we're back. Hey, we're back. Oh my god, NFTs are dead? Oh wait, but if I use, I can use this NFT in a Web3 game and be entertained, and then they have a token that you can use in world in order to like entertain myself, and then it just so happens to accrue value because other people are having fun with the product. Even just utility alone, like an AI wayfinder, contract agent, and transaction agent, an autonomous agent that can make me do things omni-chain, not just singular, not just on one chain, is something. It's valuable. It's something. It's like remember those commercials back in the 80s and 90s? They used to have this thing that where their like grandparents used to order it on their TVs. They would call a number on the television, and they would order things to be shipped to their house. This is before Amazon, and there was this thing where it's a slow roast cooker, and then they would say this a million times. They had a little catchphrase that said, "Set it and forget it." Oh my God! You can take the rump roast, you can hook it up, and you can set the timer, and then you can set it and forget it. If you have an autonomous agent that can set and make you forget your transactions while transacting for you, and then hopefully what they're trying to promise you is like, oh, you make $1 million from it. That has infinite value on the institutional level because these people don't know what they're doing. It helps normies, and it helps these big corporate motherfuckers who have it as their underlying product because that's what they're trying to build, but they couldn't build it. I said a lot, fam. I said a lot. And many of you have probably checked out because it's a lot worse. And I get it. I don't like people preaching to me, man. I don't like people complaining to me. I hate it. I dislike it. I don't want to sit and have someone who thinks that they know everything and they're telling me things and their voice, the quality of their voice is annoying. The fact that it's so high in a register and it's not, and it's like, it's piercing my ears and the microphone. Look, I would hate listening to fucking me too, man. I don't want to keep complaining. I told a friend, right, who in the meat space, a really good friend of mine, because like I've been seeing all my friends lately in the meat space, and it's just been nonstop like long hugs, because they're like, dude, where the fuck have you been? What the fuck happened? We thought you died, dude. You're like a myth, man. I would like they're telling other people stories about me and shit, and they're like, dude, I thought you like these people. It got to the point where these people thought that I was making you up as a person, because from all the insane stories. So anyway, I was telling my friend that he's having an issue finding a job as an editor or other things in the entertainment space and film and things like that in the real world. And he was like, dude, like, do you know anything? And I was like, man, do you know that I pivoted? All right, I pivoted out of it because there was nothing there. And right now, no one's looking to bankroll any film project or anything like that. They're not looking to bankroll that shit. Because even the VCs are tight-fisted because they're not making money in the meat space too. They're not looking, they don't have fuck around and find out money anymore. Everyone is in thrival mode. Even venture capitalists, they're not looking to risk anything. They're looking to accrue and they're trying to position. So the people who are normally being enriched by venture capitalists, maybe producers and things like that, even they're like, no, they're gun shy. So that's why the economy isn't flowing, because even the people above the people who have money are like, they're bleeding out and they're now making moves. I'm not talking about tariffs or anything like that. But this is just like, but then my friend was like, yeah, but don't they already have money? I was like, that's the mistake. That's the mistaken thinking. Do they? Do you think that they think that they held on? Many of these people bled out, and it's not into the meat space. They bled out normally. And they're waiting. Quantitative easing, right? Instead of quantitative tightening, those are two terms that come from the Federal Reserve. We still have the same motherfucker Jerome Powell from this previous era. I don't want to point and name names and shit, but yeah, man, they're waiting. So it affects many people because you're looking to be employed. You're not going to get employed currently in Q1 now. It's difficult. No one wants to pay out, and then if they do, they're not paying you. They want to pay themselves more than it's. That's why I say, hey, I'm not complaining here. I just want to provide insight through information. My information is wrong. My information could be wrong. Of course it's wrong. I'm wrong all the time. Those projects who have been fighting, you're worried about releasing in this climate. It's the opposite. Provide the product, have people in the product, using the product. You create this sphere within your product where it's self-generating energy into whatever token that's associated with your product. You're self-enriching. Not only that, but also you're enriching the people utilizing your product. It creates a brand new loop. If you could catalyze energy within this space, I've said this before. I wrote a 25-page white paper, y'all, which, by the way, motherfuckers stole the name of my fucking product. That's neither here nor there. They're trying to release an L2. Fuck those motherfuckers, right? Fuck you. All right. So if you see somebody say, oh, Anisha, right? Oh, this L2, what is this? Oh my God. In like the next month, because they're releasing a token, quote unquote. Hey, fuck you. All right. You piece of shit. All right. But anyway, looking to catalyze, encapsulate and like create a self-generating, creating a battery by encapsulating energy and activity within Web3 is a secret. It's a powerful secret. The WIP Meetup has done this time and time again. And if many of these projects in the space want to learn how to do it, not copy, but if they want to have the power or the ability to do this for their products instead of being fearful, if they were to empower the WIP Meetup, if they were to enrich the WIP Meetup and learn like, hey, you can empower your own economy, your own community, right? And your own liquidity, right? You can do that by enriching the WIP Meetup in order to show you how to market your product, by showing you how to weaponize your community, and maybe giving you a little insight, NFA, DYOR, on how to make sure that the tokenomics of whatever fucking thing that's associated with your product makes sense. It makes sense. But the fact that many projects and products haven't found their way to the WIP Meetup, and the fact that they're falling on their face and they're failing, says a lot about them and less about everyone who's in this voice channel. I want you to keep that in mind. I want you to keep that all in mind for everyone still listening to me. You're like, dude, how did you segue into glazing us? Hey, they're failing. We aren't. We show you how to do this time and time again. I hope that in Q2 that many of these projects actually finally just release your fucking thing, man. Release your fucking thing. Who knows if the price of ETH, ETH has serious issues, and it sucks it should not be this way. We benefit more from activity. Oh, so sorry, this is going back to my original point. Pardon me. I went off, right? We benefit more from activity in space. I was trying to tell my friend that that I pivoted because if there's lack of activity, you can't move and shake. I told my friend, hey, so currently I'm in a space where I've positioned well. I have, but I haven't given them a full rundown of what the fuck we do here. But I position well, and mostly it's just a matter of waiting for the time to strike. But if there's nothing that's actionable, you can't take action and make moves. Like I said, there's no horizontal chain to jump out of from Ethereum into other things. Because all these other L2s are either on Ethereum or like it's a Solana, and Solana barely works. Or it has no other utility other than being what the fuck it is. You have to use Solana the ease of creating a token is a thumbs up, but then you have to add more things to the tokenomics in order for it to be something. You have to encapsulate the activity and then have it power something that's broader and greater, that keeps you engaged, that keeps you click-through rate or whatever the fuck, where it keeps you clicking. It's hard out here for everyone. It sucks that we're in this position in 2025. I would have never thought that at the end of March 2025, with all these things that were rolled back happening, whatever the fuck, I never would have thought that the price of this shit would be where it's at. Truly a stable coin. Truly stagnant, ETH. Insane. I never would have thought this. I'm not complaining. I'm just providing insight. Or like my view, my perspective. My perspective is wrong. I never would have thought this. There's a deeper issue here. Whatever the fuck is leaning heavily on Ethereum is something we don't understand. And I think that the quote unquote stability and whatever's leaning, lastly is this point. These two things. The stable, the proof of the staking aspect is what keeps it stagnant. Then whatever is selling heavy are massive whales that are looking to get out and get into other things, which we know, whatever. But they've accrued so much because ETH continues to be generated more than it's endless generation, endless supply. It keeps fucking generating. That was a pregnant pause and a sigh. Hey y'all, we're all in this together, and it's very sad and depressing. I hate this shit, man. Yo, every fucking day of this week, I'm like pulling my hair out. I'm sick to my fucking stomach. I hope that quarter two, it is a fucking wave of just fire shit popping off. Because I do not want to see quarter two being a reflection of quarter one, where everyone is sitting around twiddling their thumbs. We're in developmental hell. I do not want to see this. I do not want to see April still being fucking lukewarm. It may happen. The sad part is that it may happen. And then by May 5th, we've had a run up before through the end of March through May 5th, 4 years ago. By May 5th, man, something's gotta give. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for coming through this edition of these. I am sorry if I have depressed you. I didn't mean to complain. All right. Shout out to the WIP crew and each and every single one of you, the entire leadership team at meme.com. WIP fam, take with this information what you will. I only tell you this in order just to give you a matter of perspective. You're not in this by yourself. You're not in this alone. We're all with you. We're all trying. Thank you so much. Much love, and I'll see you later.
1, 2, 3, 4. Mashed potatoes, I want chicken, cheese. Fuck yes, oh cheese. G, cheese, this is awesome, 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 sweet dreams are made of cheese, pizza's good too, I like where this is going, yeah. Yes, cheese, kill the audio box with fire, with fire, with fire. Death to audio problems, lactose intolerant people, I am so sorry. Give me that shit. Give me that shit. I got carried away. We all love a good meme explorer song. Cheddar, cheddar, blue cheese. Better Way says cheese emoji. Rendon has cheese. Meme explorers with extra cheese. Death to audio. Death to audio problems. Death to audio. To audio problems. Cheddar won't go out for days. Cheese is like fire. Yes, oh, death to audio. Audio problems. Death to audio. To audio problems. Death to audio. A gift of cheddar cheese. Audio problem don't deserve to live. To emoji with the tongue sticking out. Emmentaler and Gruyere. That almost rhymes. Cheddar is money given now. Spend some of your cheddar on that, please. Rizzle says death to audio problems. Rizzle says death to audio. Rizzle says death to audio problems. Rizzle says death to audio. Lots of gifts of cheesy things, all up in the Discord of meme explorers. Oh, lots of gifts of cheesy things. Captain Heart Eyes, clap, clap, clap. Cheese steak, cookie, high cheese is the best. Gifts of cats with cheese on their faces, death, death, death. The only thing we love more than cheese is gifts. The only thing is fondue. Rizzle says death to audio problems. Rizzle says death. Audio cheese is live. Audio problems. Cheese is live. Oh, yeah. Yay. The little kitten says LOL, and Elmo's on fire, and Ernie's got condoms on his ears, so fire, so fire. Death to audio, to audio, death to audio, LMA, give me cheese, oh give me death to audio, death to audio. Vibe check, vibe check, death to high pain. I want some lemonade, make cheese great again. Condoms on the ears, that's what it looked like to me. Oh, death to audio problems, to audio, death to audio problems, to audio, I'm vibing, make cheese, lemonade. When life gives you rotten cheese, you make cheese lemonade. So much cheese and some sriracha, some cheese and some sriracha. Me vibing big time when rizzle coins. You make nachos, you make nachos. Love the song so dope, stuff that cheese in your face. Stuff that cheese in your face with jalapeno. With jalapeno. In your face, cheese whiz. Pickles, yes, cheese whiz. In your face, I sit down to audio, to audio, down to audio, to audio, down to audio, to audio, next thing audio, to audio, to audio, yeah, that's it. Oh my lord. Whew. I have to turn on the fan.